Hi, just making another video about the 900 bill stimulus that just passed by Donald Trump, right? And that's right, he just signed it yesterday, even though he wasn't going to sign it. And yes, so that does mean new stimulus checks for all you people waiting at home, including your dependents, all right? So we're going to talk about this in this video. And guess what? No more evictions as well, all right? So they're going to pass a new law for evictions, so you won't have to get kicked out of your apartment, and you're going to have to be staying, you can stay in your apartment for a longer time, right? So this is going to help us all to pay the rent, to pay our businesses, for self businesses, so keep them up and running like restaurants or gyms, and for everybody to get their own stimulus check to actually live in this pandemic, right? So again, we come here to this website. We come to the CNN website, and it says the second stimulus bill package has passed. See what's in it. All right. So Donald Trump wasn't going to sign it. Decided to sign this 900 billion pandemic relief bill into the law, which includes enhanced unemployment benefits and direct cash payments. Right. So he wasn't going to sign it because he wanted the $2,000 checks distributed to everybody in the United States. He didn't like the idea of the 600 check per person. He wanted 2,000, and he wasn't going to sign it. So Congress and the whole government was going to go shut down. But he ended up actually signing it. So it was a big surprise. And right now it says $600 per individual. So each person, who even includes Social Security and benefits, will get the $600 right, or the stimulus check. Also, eligible families will receive 600 per child, but what's not included is 600 per dependent who's over 17, right? So if you're 17 years old or over the age of that, so anyone who's over at the age of 17 or at the age of 17 and is classified as a dependent will not get the stimulus check of $600, right? So you have to think about that one, because now I'm gonna tell you that you actually do your taxes, which is gonna be for 2020. You haven't done it yet. You could do them, and you can classify it as an dependent, right? So you could be independent, do your own taxes, and probably get the $600 stimulus check for yourself, right? Or remember, if you actually remove yourself from the taxes as a dependent, you probably end up losing the dependent benefits, right? So you got to calculate that if you're actually making more than 600, or if it's even worth it doing that, right? Because it's only 600. But I got great news, and that's probably going to be boosted up to 2,000 per child and 2,000 per individual. So stay tuned to the end of this video, because I'm explaining everything. All right. So again, Donald Trump signed the bill, which is only going to include 600 per person and per child. And also, you're going to get 300 weekly federal enhancement benefits through the March 14 for unemployment benefits, right? So that means 300 per week plus what you get per week, as it is already. All right. So it's not going to be retroactive. It's going to start at the end of this year, which already ended. It was the end of December 26th for most people receiving PUA and EDD benefits. So you're going to get that. You're going to start 10 and 11 weeks starting from that date. So you can get 300 per week, right? Plus your benefits, your regular benefits, unemployment money that you were receiving already. But since Donald Trump did delay this, it's going to be probably 10 weeks. Now they're arguing if it's going to be 10 or 11 weeks, but most likely it should be 11 weeks. But because Donald Trump delayed signing it, it's only 10 weeks as of now, right? Because we already lost a week. But stay tuned. They're probably going to add it to the end of the 10 weeks, and you're going to be able to get that money that you lost this week, right? So because every state is different, well, a couple of states last longer to actually start this additional weeks of unemployment into your own account. But because some states lag, and some states take longer than other states, you probably will see it in next week, hopefully, right? If they get up to date and they make things faster. But if not, you probably end up seeing it at the end of the 11 weeks. But hopefully, most of us will receive it. Hopefully, we actually get the money, right? So it says right here. Also, it's a federally funded $100 per week additional benefit to those who have at least $5,000 in annual self-employment income, but were disqualified from receiving pandemic unemployment assistance because they are eligible for regular state employment benefits. So that means if you were working a W-2 job, which means it could be a Starbucks, McDonald's, any other restaurant as a W-2. We had an hourly pay, and you were self-employed. So if you were, let's say, Uber driver or other self-employed job, then you will receive $100 per week additional, right? So because you weren't able to qualify for regular benefits of PUA or other unemployment benefits, if you lost your income and you're working these two type of jobs, in other words, two different type of tax forms, you will receive an additional $100 per week. All right, for those who have at least 5,000 in self-employment income. So that's what it means. Additionally, you will be provided 20 additional weeks for payments depending on state's unemployment rate. Typically, states and federal governments split the tab fewer than 2 dozen states now offer extended benefits because of the improvement in economy, right? So think about that one. Now for small business loans, you will get another paycheck protection program, another loan. So go ahead and apply for that if you're able to qualify. And it also says grants for theaters and other live venues, which means again, theaters and venues such as movies or concerts or anything else that falls into that category is going to be a 15 billion grant program for those type of things, right? So if you work right there, you might be able to keep your job. You might not be able to get laid off. So you're going to be happy with your job and happy if you actually own one of these places. You're going to be keeping it up and running, right? Because restaurants and gyms are closing, and most likely every place where you have to be indoors is pretty much closing and losing money, right? So it's going to help them out, keep them in business. So, I mean, we don't have to lose that type of business in the future, right? It's going to provide 82 billion for funding for schools and childcare. That means from K to 12 schools to colleges. There's going to be an additional 10 billion, which is included to support childcare providers that have struggled because of the pandemic, right? So again, if you don't have a place to keep your children and they were going to school, now this is going to provide colleges and schools to actually keep them open and try to do something with it with the schools, or provide help for you guys to have to actually keep them in the house, such as like nutrition assistance, which we see right here. And rental assistance, right, for those families. So let's go to rental assistance. It says it extends until January 31st. The eviction protections are set to expire at the end of the year. It also provides 25 billion in rental assistance for individuals who lost their sources of income during the pandemic, right? So rental assistance, you don't be no evictions. You gotta keep up to date, and you guys could comment me on how to find that out. But you just go to your city. If you live in Los Angeles, go to Los Angeles, the government website. You can find out rental assistance, which they'll help you out with an extra 1,000, probably to 2,000 for rental assistance. So you can keep your place of living, and you won't be evicted, right? You can fight that with your landlord. You can fight that with help, and you won't get evicted until you're able to pay it off, right? So that's always rental assistance. That's always good, and that's extra money for you guys to actually pay your rent. Now, nutrition assistance, right, for all your EBT and PEBT SNAP users, SNAP benefits by 15% for 6 months, but does not expand eligibility, right? So the same people that qualify, the SNAP benefits will get increased by 15%, and that does mean emergency allowance, so you get the maximum for those who qualify, and this does mean for PEBT users who did apply, are we going to be able to apply again for a second round of PEBT? And you're going to get it most likely in every other state now because this bill has passed, right? So again, it also expands the pandemic program to families who are children under age of 6 who have received food stamps, deeming enrolled in childcare for eligible benefits, right? And this package sends 400 million to food banks, food pantries through the emergency food assistance, right? So if you guys pick up free food from food banks and food drives, you could just pick up the free food and continue funding this program so you could get more food for your family, right? If you don't have money, pick up this great food. You could check out my channel. I did it a bunch of times. I picked up free food and it's whole boxes for the rest of the week, including like for Thanksgiving, it was a free turkey and free mashed potatoes and everything, right? So it's fantastic. This program, I'm so grateful this program exists because I don't know how I would actually feed my family if I had this ability to actually go there and pick up free food from the food drives and food banks, right? So remember, EBT cards, regular, you can be able to apply. If you qualify, you're going to get the maximum. It's already qualified, but now it's going to be funded again. So each month is going to keep going like that. PEBT program, for those who qualified, you can be able to apply again. Again, these are all children who miss school and cannot be provided with lunch meals. So you're going to now receive this card. So your parents or the children themselves could actually get a credit card and debit card and purchase food and groceries. So you could, again, feed their families, right? Now, I made a couple of videos, so make sure to subscribe and check those videos because I keep you up to date with PEBT and EBT program cards, and you can now apply in most of the states because they're going to pass this law and they're going to pass this program for every state to actually have one, right? In California, they already passed the second round, and you're only going to receive one from 2 months, from the months of August and September, in a card that's going to be shipped out in December, right? But in Massachusetts, they already passed the program. It's going to work the same thing as regular EBT, was going to be monthly from now to the end of the 2021 school year for kids. And you're going to receive, like I said, you're going to receive a PEBT card with benefits for each month. All right, so that's always good, right? Again, it's going to also provide 175 million for nutritional services for seniors, such as Meals on Wheels, and 13 million for commodity supplemental food program. And this is always great because, again, I have videos about this. If you have a senior or you're in disability, you want this food to get delivered to your house, whether you actually step outside and get it contagious, right? The vaccine is very good. That's right here, but you can still get infected especially with the new strain. Who knows what it is and how deadly it is, right? So remember, all these things are good. Subscribe to my channel. I always keep you up to date. And it says also here that it was been funded for vaccine and hospital funding. PPE are low. Places so they could put your patients are low. and the vaccine is now this time the vaccine is going to be free for everybody. All right, so it provides 20 billion to purchase vaccines so it can be available at no charge to those who need it, and another 8 billion for vaccine distribution. All right, so the government is helping it for distribute this vaccine to all hospitals, such as hospitals and pharmacies such as Rite Aid, Walgreens, CVS, Walmart. You know, you're going to be able to get the vaccine at those places or at hospitals and clinics, right? Like I said, it also gives another additional 20 billion. It also gives an additional 20 billion to assist with testing. So you got to get tested even though you don't think you're infected. And there is a new strain of the virus, so you got to be careful to going outside in public places, right? Another 3 billion to the 175 billion funding for hospitals and healthcare providers. It also gives out payroll tax repayment, right? So employers who are deferring their workers' payroll taxes under Trump's executive action from August now have until the end of 2021 to increase employees withholding to pay back taxes owed. Originally, the deferred amount had to be repaid by April 30, right? Many federal workers are required to participate in this program through their unions protested, all right? So that's always good. Little details right there. You could always go into it. I'll make other videos about it. But what's not included are state and local government funding, right? That could be something we could argue afterwards. But for right now, we're so excited we got the stimulus bill passed, and that's what this nutrition passed, the rental system passed, and funding for schools, and most importantly, the vaccine, right? So that's what we want. That's what we're happy about, and that's what we keep hoping for more change and more stimulus bills in the future, right? So it says right here, COVID vaccines and 600 payments, the key provision in the U.S. stimulus bill, which it is, because now each person is going to get 600 payments, including children who qualify as a dependent, but those who are 17 and older do not get the 600 stimulus check. Remember that, all right? Now, this is also surprising because prisoners are not excluded to get the 600 payments, all right, the stimulus bill, all right. So that means if you have a prisoner, that you might more likely get 600 payments of a stimulus check, which is also great because they also need to survive. They also getting food, get their clothes, and stay healthy. And during this time, pandemic is not getting least of their help, right? COVID vaccines, as we already talked about it, he actually passed it. It's going to be distributed and it's going to be free for everybody, which is also great, all right. Now, again, Donald Trump said he wanted 2,000 stimulus check, and they're actually fighting for that. And they might be passing a new law, which is an amendment today, which actually increased the 600 to 2,000, right? Which is also great, right? So keep notice of that. They might be increasing to $2,000, right? Now again, Trump's delay in signing the stimulus bill could keep 5.9 billion from unemployed Americans, right? So again, like I said, in the first week, it's not going to be counted because Trump did delay this process because he wanted 2,000 checks of stimulus bill for each person, but it's going to be 11 in total. And now because we missed the first week, it's going to be 10 in total, right? But don't worry about it. They're most likely going to add this for 11 weeks to the end of the 10 weeks, or they're going to add it in the first check, right? So hopefully it works like this. Hopefully they actually don't keep the week away, because if we did lose 1 week just because of his delay. But most likely they're going to add it up, since like any other check from EDD actually added up, right? And we see right here, the House passes bill increasing stimulus check to 2,000 paid uncertain in Senate, right? So this means that it's because Donald Trump actually signed the $600 stimulus check for each individual and each dependent. Now Nancy Pelosi actually passed an amendment, and the House did pass the bill, but we're going to look at the Senate of $2,000 per individual and per dependent, right? And yes, that does means each child is going to get 2,000. That does means each couple is going to get 4,000. Each individual is going to get 2,000. And like I said, all this has to wait until the Senate actually passes it. All right. So hopefully it does work, and hopefully this actual bill does pass, because it's from $600 to $2,000 that they actually going to pass, so we could get stimulus bills for each individual, right? Which is the money that I want, which is the money you guys want, and with that we're going to be able to pay rent, we're going to pay our utilities, our businesses, our food, help our kids and everything, right? Or buy some shoes right here on the side that's really expensive, right? So we're going to try to get that. We're gonna try to get as much money as we can, and hopefully Nancy Pelosi helps us out, because we are in a pandemic and we do need the vaccine, right? So all right, and it says right here, help forgive our rent. Like I said, for those of you who actually don't have rent, are getting evicted, this new bill is gonna help prevent eviction. Okay, so no more evictions. People can actually do something about it. Just go to your city, type it in, look for help, and you're most likely gonna get a grant or some $500 to $2,000 help just for rent. Okay, so no more evictions, which is great. Also, also, it says right here, when is the second stimulus check coming out? Payments immediate as Donald Trump signs bill, right? Like I said, right now it's going to be until January 4th that you're going to receive your 600 through direct deposit. Okay. Now, if you don't receive it throughout direct deposit, you're most likely going to receive a check by the following week after that, right? But January 4th is the day where most people are going to get it through direct deposit. So go to irs.com/gov, irs.gov, and look for your look so how you could type in your direct deposit. If you receive the first stimulus check, it's going to be same information, same direct deposit information, so you have to change nothing about that. But if it's not, go ahead and update it or go ahead and sign up for it. And yeah, if you have to make your 2018, 2019 taxes, so you can receive the stimulus check. Yeah, if you qualify. All right, so that'll be it. Thanks a lot. If you have any comments, send a comment. If not, subscribe, hit the like button, and look at all my videos because they're bringing more food and more free money for everybody. Okay, thank you.